Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the difference between elastic and inelastic collisions. Say you have two objects coming towards each other. In an elastic collision, the two objects will bounce off of each other and move in opposite directions, whereas in an inelastic collision, the two objects will stick together and move in one direction. This is because in an elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved, and in an inelastic collision, there's no kinetic energy conserved because it's absorbed by its surroundings. The difference between an elastic and an inelastic collision is the loss or conservation of kinetic energy. Here's another example. When you throw a ball to the ground and it bounces back up into your hand. There is no net change in kinetic energy, making it an example of an elastic collision. Here are the equations for an elastic collision. The first one is the conservation of momentum, the second one is the conservation of kinetic energy, and the third one is for head-on collisions. In all of these equation examples, initial velocity is represented by v and a little tick mark. For our class, we would use v with the O instead. All three of these equations consist of the same variables: m for the mass of the first and second objects, v with the tick mark for initial velocity of the first and second objects, and v without the tick mark for the final velocity of the first and second objects. Moving on to inelastic collision, it is important to note that there is something called a special case. Say you have a wet mud ball and you throw it at a wall and it sticks. This is an example of a perfectly inelastic collision because the two objects stick together and move as a single object. Here's the equation for inelastic collision, which consists of the variables v for final velocity, m for the masses of the first and second object, and v for the initial velocity of the first and second objects. An example of an inelastic collision is a car accident because the deformation of the car's materials, loss of kinetic energy, and the possibility of objects sticking together. This is an elastic collision example because no kinetic energy is conserved. Instead, it's absorbed by its surroundings. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned a little bit about the difference between inelastic and elastic collisions. Thank you.